thing looks like an Audi, doesn't it? It's got those kind of curves to it on the front. LED projectors, or LED reflectors, excuse me, with some sort of DRL. So now it's 1:10. Shitty vlogger. At least I did something when I went out today. Showed you the lights on the Jetta. We went to Zeppi's for dinner. Hadn't been there like since last summer probably. So I went with my mom after a really uncomfortable day of mowing. Not because it was hot, the weather was actually perfect. It was kind of cloudy, so I didn't have to worry about hot sun. It was 74, 75 degrees. It wasn't so humid. But there are bees, and there are millions of them. And the two properties that I did today, that one across the street and this one next door, both had pretty big holes. So I started by the driveway, I went down the street, and right when I got to the end of the property and then cut in to go to the backyard, I do the perimeter first. I noticed that right at the corner of the property there was a hole. It's like, I don't remember that hole being so big, so I drove through it, whatever. Mower's got huge ass tires on it. And then I felt something really sharp. There's those huge tires. Really sharp in my right ankle. And I looked down and there's two bees stuck in my sock. Hornets or wasps, I don't know how to tell what they are. They're bees. And they hurt like hell. And for some reason, these hurt more than any other ones that I've had. I got stung 3 times, twice on my right, in the front of my ankle, and then once right into my Achilles tendon on the back of my ankle through the socks. The bees died in my socks. I had to hobble back to the house and pick them out of my socks with pliers. So that makes 4 times that I've been stung in the last 2 weeks. When we get into the late summer and the ground gets kind of dry, for some reason they are able to dig huge holes. Like I could put both my fists inside of these holes that they're burrowing in, and they're living in the ground, and you don't see them unless you're really looking for them. So I was able to finish that lawn. I came over here and I did a perimeter sweep of the house. I didn't get 10 feet around the side of this house before there's a hole over here. I'll show you tomorrow in the daytime. Twice as big as the one over there. It's ridiculous. And they're swarming in and out of there and bringing stuff in and taking stuff out. So I just omitted a huge corner of the lawn over there because I'm not getting any more of these stings. So I still feel it. It still hurts. Usually they only hurt for like an hour. This has been 8 or 10 hours now that I've been dealing with this. But whatever, shit happens. I got both lawns done, I got paid. That's what matters, part of the game. I also got a ton of online stuff done today. So there's a place in Cleveland called Blocka Chip is the name of it. And they do tinting and expel and stuff like that. So my car has, as of 2007, the previous owner installed Lumard, I forget what I said, GTX, ATC, ATX, some sort of tint on it. It's about 50%. And it's going to go because it isn't. It's 11 years old. It was mid-grade 11 years ago. The stuff we have today, crystalline, and I think GTC or GTX is the modern high-end Lumar film. It's way better. And being in California, being outside in California, I don't want this leather and the interior to bake in the heat, to get slammed with UV lights. I'm just going to retint it. Additionally, I'm going to go a hair darker. Although this is a really good job. It has very few of those bubbles you usually see in that part of it. But this is all scratched up. Like this whole thing, I don't know if something got caught in the door once, but there's a lot of vertical scratches in it. So I'm getting quotes on that to see if it makes sense to do it here in Ohio in these last 4 weeks before we move, or just do it when I get to San Diego. And then I'm looking into filming bumper headlights, hood, maybe, fenders, maybe, mirrors, maybe. So I'm getting a bunch of quotes on that. Possibly have a buyer lined up for the 330. I'll be sad to see it go, but I don't think it's not coming to California at this point. That'll be bittersweet. And what else did I do? I talked to my dad on the phone today. I talked to Megan for a bit. She's in New York having fun. Comes back on Sunday. And as I said, we went to dinner and then we went to Giant Eagle, and I came home and Kenan came over for a little bit and I watched some Orange is Black. And that's it. I'm gonna go to sleep. It's after 1 a.m. We'll talk tomorrow on Friday. Good night.